All right, guys. So I know people are just now jumping on. I see the participants going up. I'm going to give it about one more minute, maybe 30 seconds tops. I'll let everybody get on here. Want to welcome everybody onto the webinar tonight. I always get nervous doing these things, but I'm excited, super, super excited to share some information with you guys tonight. So as you're coming on, there's not anything you need to do. Just listen, learn, and hopefully you get as excited as I am about this. So I'm going to go ahead and kick it off. I got 9:01 here, guys. So just so you all know who I am, so we're not strangers, my name is Gary Stern. I'm one of the elite distributors in LifeVantage. I'm based out of Melbourne, Florida. It's on the East Coast over near Cape Canaveral and Cocoa Beach. In fact, we just had an air show here this weekend. It was phenomenal. So awesome to be able to watch it literally from the roof. It's crazy. That's a whole different story for another day. So anyway, let me explain to you why you're on here, right? So you're probably thinking, why were they adamant that I got on here and learned about biohacking? Like, what in the heck is biohacking? And so my background, my professional background is I was a physical therapist and a pharmaceutical rep. And that took up about 19 years, almost 20 years of my life. And although it was an awesomely rewarding at times profession, especially when I worked with professional athletes, I mean, that was amazing. And I'd watch them come back and win gold medals at the Nagano Olympics and things along those lines. That was phenomenal. But then things changed, right? Insurance companies kind of took over. It made the job very mundane. My mom and dad both got sick with cancer. My dad, unfortunately, ended up passing away. And then my mom ended up getting sicker. So I moved back from Colorado to take care of her. And it was then that I realized, look, I can't work and take care of my mom at the same time. It's impossible. And family comes first. So I knew I had to find a way, a better way to be able to provide for my mom and still make income. And so that's why I went into pharmaceutical sales. Again, at the beginning, phenomenal. I thought I was helping people. And then I realized we're just waiting for people to get sick so we can kind of treat them on the tail end of things. And so you have a little bit of a background on me. I'm a competitive athlete. I mean, a 5-time Florida State cycling champion, cycling, surfing, snowboarding, anything that's active is what I love doing. So here's a guy that's basically chained down to going in and calling on doctors all day long, hitting sales numbers that were out of control, not able to take care of the things that were the most important to him, looking for a better way. So I don't know if you're that type of person or not, but if you are, you're going to want to pay particular attention. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here, and we'll use a few slides here just to kind of illustrate some examples as we're going along. So as I started to say here, I kind of started giving you my story. Here's what's most important to me, guys, right here. That's my family. You've got my son and my wife right there in that middle picture. That was us in Italy this summer. We love to travel. Got a chance to drive a Ferrari. You see that down at the bottom of the screen there. Again, we love sports in our family. My son's an avid swimmer and an avid soccer player, so we get to go support him with those things that he loves doing the most. And again, that wasn't always possible before. And I'm going to explain how we got to that point through biohacking. So it was a little over 7 years ago, my cycling coach called me up and said, Gary, there's something you need to take a look at. And I'm thinking to myself, oh man, if it's one of those things, I've looked at those things like 20, 27, 28 times, I think, at that point. But he came at me a little bit differently. He said, there's an ABC primetime investigative news report. That caught my attention, right? First and foremost. But then secondly, on top of that, he said something that I'll never forget. He said, I'm going to send you over a clinical study. I'd love to have you take a look at it. Guys, I'd never been approached by anything outside of the pharmaceutical industry with products, with services, with anything that had the same type of peer-reviewed research. So I said, send the report right over, send the clinical right over. I read the clinical study twice, called him up, and I'm like, man, do you understand what we have our hands on? This is going to be huge. This is literally going to slow cellular aging. And I was like a basket case. I was so excited. I told my wife she was going to take it. I told my father-in-law. I told my brother. I told my sister-in-law. I didn't ask them. I told my aunt. I didn't ask any of those people because after losing your mom and dad to cancer, you lose your mother-in-law to an Alzheimer's-like condition. I wanted to do any and everything I could do to slow the aging process, but I also wanted to do the same thing for those that I loved and cared about around me. So hopefully that's got your attention, and I'll kind of pick up on this story as we go along. But at that rate, I knew I was going to be on the product for the rest of my life. I knew that I would take it. My wife would take it indefinitely. What I didn't learn about until really over the last few years is just how big of a deal biohacking and nutrigenomics is. So what exactly is biohacking? It's simple, guys. It's the science of optimizing your body, your mind, and your performance. So think about it this way. Your body is comprised of all these systems, right? Your cardiovascular system, your muscular system, all these systems. And we can do things to those systems to simplify it. Like, have you ever cut a certain food out of your diet before? I mean, I know I have, because you know if you do that, either A, you might lose weight, or B, you're going to be healthier, or maybe you're not allergic to it, right? That's biohacking. That's biohacking. What about going to sleep and trying to optimize the number of hours of sleep? Like, you let the lights come down a little bit, you avoid electronic devices before you go to bed, maybe even put on those yellow glasses that block the blue light. That's all biohacking. So this is the same thing, but it's using what we call nutrigenomics. Nutrigenomics is using plant-based nutrition to have an effect on, to activate your body's genes that are there in your body anyway. So I love this slide. I think this maybe talks about pretty much the whole world, right? That suffers from inflammation, low energy, gut issues, brain fog. We all either have one or some of these, or we know somebody who does, right? And up until this point, we used anti-inflammatories, or we used these energy drinks that are bad for you, right? That I've had a friend go to the hospital in renal failure before because she was on those energy drinks. That's kidney failure. What about gut issues? How about so many of these people that are sick all the time, right? Or they walk in the other room. I know this has happened to me back before I started using these products. I'd go in the other room. This is after about age 35, and I'd be like, what am I doing in here? I couldn't even remember why I had walked into the other room, or I go over there and I can't remember what it was that I was going to go say to tell my wife or my son. That's all signs of aging. And here's the deal. What we've been using up to this point just hasn't cut it. If it did, we wouldn't have seen the diseases of aging literally exploding like they have over the last several years. But nutrigenomics is the solution. And that's how we can biohack our health, okay? So I'm going to show you a quick video here. I think it's up next. Yep. Right before I show that, though, I want to give a quick analogy as you're watching this to think through. So over the years, if something was wrong with the body, we tried to add what was missing, right? Or we'd give a really high dose of something that was synthetic maybe, the antioxidants or your anti-inflammatories, right? That can actually aggravate or block the healing response. So instead of that, why not activate the body to take care of what it does naturally? And it was best explained to me in the form of an analogy. So think of it this way. If the power goes out, right? We have hurricanes all the time in Florida. So if the power goes out here in Florida at my house, I'm lucky enough that I have a generator. Now, I don't have one of those Mac Daddy generators. I mean, we got to put it to use the last 2 years in a row. I don't have the Mac Daddy one. I can run a couple of lights, a fan, and the refrigerator. I got to unplug something to plug in the little window unit AC, right? So I'm supplementing the power that's missing, right? The power that's missing. Instead, what if I just called up Florida Power and Light and said, hey, when the hurricane came through, it knocked out our power. Can you guys flip the switch and turn the power back on? Do I need the generator anymore? And the answer is no. So it's the same way with our bodies. We're supplementing. Think of the supplements as the generator, and think of Protandim. Think of Protandim Nerf 1, Nerf 2, the probiotic, the Omega Plus, the biohacking nutrigenomic products that we have as the answer, as the solution to turn the power back on, just like the power company. So I'm going to show a quick video here that'll explain it in more detail. As soon as this is over with, I'll jump right back on. So go ahead and take a listen to this. Let me make sure the volume's up. Here we go.
Every biohacker knows that every day is a fresh start. A blank canvas, a well of untapped potential, with your name written all over it. What you do with it, yeah, that's up to you. But here's a pro tip. When it comes to today, you're going to get out exactly what you put in. Good in, good out. And it starts with the Vitality Stack. We're on a mission to biohack the aging curve. And that means building a nutrigenomic starter kit with all the biohacking tools you need to start taking control of your health today. The Vitality Stack is made with 4 powerful products that work together and build off each other. ProBio lays the groundwork supporting a fully functional immune and digestive system that can absorb nutrients, start your day right, and make the most out of NRF1, which is designed to help you think clear and stay focused during the day. NRF2, to keep your body and cells on point and in shape. And Omega Plus, it delivers the right blend of fatty acids and vitamin D to make sure your brain, heart, and organs are doing great. Take the Vitality Stack at home in a bundle, or take it on the go in a packet. Because no matter how you use it, you get the same 3 powerful products that have one goal in mind: to help you milk all the awesome you can out of today. So go ahead, nail that presentation, slay those bag munchers, or do whatever it is this guy is doing. Because no matter where you are or where you're headed, Vitality Stack is your building block to a better day.
All right, and we're back, guys. So I don't know about you, but I get fired up every single time I see that video. Here's the deal. Biohacking is simple, guys. It's a matter of turning your body back on again. And the best way that we found to do it is through the Vitality Stack. Now, this includes, like they said in the video, they said 3 products. They were lumping Protandim Nerf 1 and Nerf 2 in together. I like to think of it as 4 components that work synergistically. They work together to activate your body, to help take care of those things that we talked about on the previous screen, right? The low energy, the inflammation, the gut problems, the brain fog, things along those lines. We have a solution for that. And we know that the Vitality Stack is the best known way to protect yourself from aging. In fact, it lowers oxidative stress. It's proven to lower oxidative stress by 40% in 30 days. What does that mean in English, right? I want to know what's in it for me. You want to know what's in it for you. If you can lower your oxidative stress levels, that's simply put, that means you're slowing cellular aging. Think of it as rusting from the inside out, right? Like when you cut an apple in half and it starts to turn brown. And we have the product that actually slows that slows that aging process by 40% in 30 days. And you don't have to take my word on it. It's scientifically proven to do so. You can find that proof at pubmed.gov. Again, remember I told you, the very first of those 23 peer-reviewed studies that you see there was enough for me to say, look, I'm going to be on this for the rest of my life, because I'd never seen anything with that kind of scientific background where it just made sense, right? Where the data was so strong, it was irrefutable. I knew that this is something that we would be on for the rest of our lives. What I didn't know was anything about the company behind it or anything about the opportunity that went along with it. I had no idea about those things, but I knew this. The science checked out. There were patents. There's plenty of studies. There's hundreds of studies that are ongoing right now. You can go do your research there at pubmed.gov. Actually, don't do your research. Review the research. The research has already been done for you. So then we have the lineup of products here. And I kind of lined them up. I'm not going to go through in a lot of detail, but I will just quickly highlight. So Protandim Nerf 2 is the one that slows your body's aging. It slows the cellular aging by activating the body. It tells the body at a signal, like literally at the cellular level, to produce more antioxidants, more anti-inflammatories. They go to work, your body's own enzymes. Instead of all these external things, your body's enzymes are far more powerful than anything you can add to it from the external sources. Then you have Protandim Nerf 1, same idea of turning your body on, but this time increasing the number and the activity of the mitochondria. What does that mean in English? More energy. Cellular energy. So we've got something to give you more cellular energy and something to lower inflammation and slow cellular aging, working hand in hand, in tandem with one another. The Omega Plus, that's going to help your immune system, your skin, literally your joint health, brain health, right? All of those things, because our diet just doesn't have enough omega-3s in it, or vitamin D for that matter. We've got the Physique system. The Physique lineup, guys, that's what includes that probiotic that they talked about in the video. But how many people do you know that are looking to not only lose weight, but maintain an optimal weight, right? Because so many people get on these fad diets and they crash, lose all this weight, and then it comes straight back again because they don't have a long-term solution. We have that with the probio, or with the Physique. And then Axio. When we were talking about that brain fog before, and we were talking about how energy drinks can be so bad for you, what about a brain stimulant? Think of it as like a brain stimulant that activates your brain. It biohacks your brain for more clarity, focus, concentration, mental endurance, right? Who doesn't need more of that? I mean, they said go and slay that presentation, I think, in that video. And they said, and they were talking about still being there to slay the bagged lunches, right? As you're making the kids lunches, right? I mean, 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, a lot of us are starting to run out of steam. But what if there was a natural way, a healthy way to give yourself just a little bit more energy to make it throughout the day? I know me, I've incorporated in. It's first thing I reach for in the morning is my Axio. It gets me going and keeps me going throughout the day. If I have a long day and I got to drive at night, or if I have a presentation to do in the evening, I'll have another Axio beforehand to keep me focused and on my A game, to stay on point. And then we have the skincare system. Guys, the skincare system has the same patented ingredients in it. So that way it's activating the body to slow the cellular aging of the skin. So you're not just making the skin look better, but you're literally making it healthier and younger at the same time. Same thing with the hand cream. And then who doesn't love their pets? I had a lady today messaging me back and forth about what an awesome dog we have. And you know, our dog's 4.5 years old, still super playful. I've seen dogs that are 10, 12, 14 years of age get put on this product, Protandim, and all of a sudden look like puppies again with all this boundless energy jumping up and down off the bed. It's the most amazing thing to see. And nobody else has anything like it, right? Nobody else has a patented product that activates the body to take care of its own. Here's some pictures, guys. Pictures, they say, are worth 1,000 words. So, I mean, you gotta admit, that young lady's confidence on the left side of the screen must be through the roof. I mean, the results are phenomenal. That's just one result, right, of that young lady on the left. How about the couple on the right? And note that in 6 months, look at the volume of weight that they lost together. Almost 163 pounds combined in just 6 months. But note that the pictures are out at about 1.5 years to show you that not only did they lose the weight, they were able to keep it off, which is the most important thing. Like we were talking about before, you don't just want to lose weight, you want to maintain an optimal level. And you can just see it, the look in their eyes and the confidence level is through the roof, right? Through the roof. Then there's this young man who struggled for years with focus and clarity and anxiety. I mean, I don't know. I know my neighbor's child is very, I have 2 neighbors that have children that are in that same boat. And the results that we're seeing in just a short amount of time with focus and clarity and concentration from using the combination of Protandim and Axio, phenomenal. Here we've got some examples of the skin cream before and after. Hopefully you don't get grossed out by crazy pictures, but I mean, the results speak for themselves night and day. Again, the lady on the left, confidence through the roof when her skin doesn't have that, you know, broken out rash like that, and she's able to go out in public with a lot of confidence. Same thing. How about the person on the right being able to shake hands with somebody now without having that dry, scaly, cracking skin? This is Peggy here on the left. That's something where it helped clear up her leg after using Protandim and True Science, the skin cream, along with the oral Protandim for a little while. And then on the right-hand side, another young lady where it cleared up the eczema on her, or the acne on her skin. So here's the thing. I showed you just a handful of examples. There are countless examples. Get back with whoever shared this video with you. If you're on Facebook, ask them to add you to some of our Facebook groups. We have groups where we show you real world some of these testimonials, where some of these people share their stories either in a video format or in a picture format or in a story format. So ask them to get back with you and share that information with you. It's amazing. Make sure you see that ABC Investigative News Report. You can watch some of these videos that we showed again at lifebiohack.com. Get back with whoever shared this with you. But here's the deal. Why do I have 20% off there in big bold letters? Because if you're like me, you got fired up, right? I got fired up when I saw this. I said, I'm on it. I want to be on it for life. And who doesn't want to save 20%? They told me, look, get on a subscription. You're going to need this product on a monthly basis anyway. Get on a subscription. You don't have to stay on it for any specific length of time, on an as-needed basis, but you're going to want to give it at least 3 to 6 months, right? This isn't something where overnight all of a sudden you're feeling better, especially as you get up in age, right? I'm 45 now, so I'm not going to erase 45 years of damage in 2 days. I knew it would take a few months, and I wanted to save 20%. We give you that opportunity to save 20% off as a result of becoming a preferred customer within our organization. But then you're probably like me. Remember I said, not only did I want it, I wanted my wife on it, I wanted my mom's best friend, I wanted my aunt, I wanted my brother, my sister-in-law, I wanted my father-in-law. I mean, there were so many people that I wanted on the products because I wanted them to be healthy. I wanted them to live longer. I wanted them to have a better quality of life, to look, feel, and perform their best. And that's when I started asking some questions, and I got into a presentation like this that helped show me, look, there's a way that you can share this within your network. That if you're going to go out and talk about it anyway, much the same way as it just happened today. What did I get a recommendation for? Oh, my son's goalkeeper coach told me that the gloves that my son uses are on sale. He and my son, he's a goalie too, and the coach is, and they use the same exact gloves. He said they're on sale at Amazon right now. They're like $20 off. So I went on to Amazon, I bought 2 pairs, and I sent him a message. I said, it's too bad this isn't network marketing. And he goes, why? So I could earn a whopping commission on the $20? I said, no, but when Lance tells people and then they tell people and they tell people, who knows, they might end up selling $200 worth of gloves. And it would have been cool for you to get a little piece of the action along the way. And he got it. He's like, that's what network marketing is. I told you guys about the gloves anyway. I didn't care whether I got a commission or not. Like I said, if you feel that you're going to share these products with people anyway, why not get a little thank you check for doing so? Now, here's some of the trends that work in your favor as you think about who you're going to share this with. 1 in 3 people are pre-diabetic. Guys, obesity is rampant in our population. $400 billion spent on prescription drugs. I know. I came from that industry. We were waiting for people to get sick in the sick care industry and then try to pump them full of drugs. Why not help them on the front end stay healthy in the first place? $50 million was spent on those energy supplements, the ones that I was telling you send people to the hospital with kidney and liver problems. And wellness is the biggest growing segment of the entire healthcare system right now. So those are some of the positive health trends. What about economic trends? And these aren't so favorable, guys. Many U.S. families are literally living paycheck to paycheck. It's sad. Most are having to work past 65 years of age. If you were like me, I know I was working as a pharmaceutical rep even. And I remember when this was presented to me, I said, well, I don't think I'm going to have the time to do it. And the gentleman who sat down with me said, well, what's your plan to get your time back? I said, I'm going to work hard. And I almost said the word harder. And then I realized how silly that sounded. And I realized how it was going to be at least another 15 to 20 years of doing what I didn't want to do any longer. Or what if there was a way to do it in 3 to 5 years? That's what was presented to me. Work hard for 3 to 5 years so you can enjoy the rest of the time instead of having to continue working at 65, 70, 75 years of age, maybe even harder then than you are now. Again, e-commerce is huge, guys. Technology, you don't need me to tell you that. People have literally turned to this doorstep delivery. You just heard me say I ordered something from Amazon today. The joke in our house is something gets delivered almost every single day. At least 3 to 5 packages a week get delivered from mail order at our house. It's the way of the future, right? So I talked to you a little bit already about the company. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail except to say that it's publicly traded. That was a huge factor in my decision early on because the company's been publicly traded now for, going on 15 years, right? But we've only been in this subscription model since 2009, coming up on 9 years. So the opportunity is massive, still very early on. We're an industry leader in nutrigenomics and biohacking. The company is growing like wildfire again because of the experience management that we have, the system that we have, the innovation that we have, and the distributor leadership, guys, that this company is attracting right now is huge. So if you've ever thought, wow, I want to partner with somebody early on and be able to ride that wave, kind of the way of Google, Apple, Facebook. I mean, Dropbox just went public last Friday, and their stock's already off to the races. Why? Because they're reputable companies that people want to partner with. This will be no different. This company's already off to the races. We did $200 million a year the last couple of years in revenue, and we're poised to be the next billion-dollar company. We have plenty of tools and research that are at our disposal to help get there. So how do you get started? I know I talk fast. I get fired up. It's hard not to. Somebody's like, man, do you have this kind of energy all the time? And those of you that know me, I do. Why? Because I'm that excited about the future. I just know where this is going to be. And if you know what you know, you get excited about it. So how do you participate in this? It's simple, guys. You get started on a start kit. That's what's shown here in the picture. There's a quick start guide in there to launching your business, a blueprint, literally step by step by step, just like building a house, step by step by step to help you, to help guide you along the way. There's samples, there's brochures. Those things are wonderful, right? Those things are very, very good. It's like you're buying a mini franchise, and these are your franchising tools that you get up front. You get a website, you get a customer service department, you get a shipping department, you get a legal department. You get a marketing department. All of that comes with your distributorship when you join LifeVantage. The other thing you need to pair it with is a product pack, right? Because you need some products. And remember, these products aren't necessarily just for you. Yes, we want you to become a product of the products. You need to formulate your story on the products, right? So that when you go out and share them, you can tell people how you're sleeping better. I mean, guys, within 2 weeks, I was sleeping like a log. I mean, dreaming again. I hadn't dreamt in years. And waking up with more energy before my alarm clock even went off. It was awesome, right? I wouldn't have had that story. I wouldn't have had the story to tell you about how Axio has helped keep me focused, or how the skincare system has helped get rid of some of the splotches or helped me heal up from stitches that just happened a couple weeks ago, right? I wouldn't have that story if it weren't for the use of the products. But the reason that you would want to look at either the platinum or the gold pack in this case is you want to also have some products to share with others so that they can get started right away on their biohacking journey. I just started a really good friend of mine since elementary school, and she wanted to use the product instantly. Like, she didn't want to wait 4 days for it to show up in the mail. So we got her going on some of the samples out of one of my Vitality stacks immediately. Think of it that way. Also, the most important part of these packs is the gold and the platinum also have tickets to the next major training events. Why is that important? Guys, I said that the system is one of the key reasons that we're seeing so much success. It's plug and play. When you're investing in this, you know, if I invested in a bike shop, for instance, I have pictures here in the back of my bike shop that we opened 8 years ago. It didn't come with an owner's manual. It didn't come with a turnkey system where I had a blueprint to follow and I knew exactly what to do. We had to come up with our own marketing strategy, our own payment processing, our own inventory, our own employees and insurance and all those things, right? There was no system to follow. With this. It's simple. We get you started right away and help show you how easy it is for you to share this with others, both the products and the opportunity, and to get paid along the way. So how do you get paid? You make 40% up front on the products that people purchase. That's huge. If you're ever in sales, I know my brother's in sales, he gets 10%. So a 40% commission is massive, guys, on the products that on the product that you personally help people get started on. Now, I know you're thinking, yeah, but that's kind of like a job. What if I'm not getting people started all the time? Well, here's the thing. Warren Buffett, super smart investor, says if you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you're going to be working until you die. And I'd say the guy knows a thing or two about investing. $66.7 billion is his net worth. So what does he mean by that? He's talking about a leveraged income, the type of income that lets you go with your family like we did last summer to Italy. I was over there by myself for about 10 days, and then my family came over for another 12 days. That's 22 days that I was out of the country, in a country that we weren't even doing business in yet. And yet back home, business was taking place and income was generated for me and my family, along with many, many members of the team along the way. That only comes from leveraged income. And what does that mean? That's roughly 5% of all the sales that take place in your organization. So remember I said I told those handful of people at the very beginning about the products. I also told a few people about the business. Those people, those literally a few handfuls of people that I've told about it over the last 7 years have turned into 6,000 people all over the globe, consuming over $1 million a year worth of products. So do the math on that. And that's just one of the ways we get paid, on the residual side or on the leveraged income side, from the efforts of many people, each doing a little bit, really just consuming the products and sharing it with a few people. So hopefully that sounds exciting to you. The numbers speak for themselves. So here's the earnings claim statement. And I circled that 261 because at the beginning, guys, that's what I thought this was all about. I'm like, look, if I make a couple $100 from this, I'm going to be happy. I'll get my products for free for my wife and I'll maybe have $100 left over to pay my cell phone bill or something at the end of the month, right? That was my thought process at the very beginning of this thing. Then I got to the point where I was between that Pro 3 and 4 rank, and I started doing the math, and I'm like, okay, my wife's driving a car that's like 11 years old. It's got all these miles on it. Why not buy her a new car? Because that right there will easily make a car payment every month. And in my mind, it was free because I was doing this part-time, literally very part-time, like 5 to 10 hours a week part-time, just sharing it with a handful of people, still full-time as a pharmaceutical rep, full-time as a bicycle shop owner, training on the bike. I'm a father. I'm a husband. I'm trying to show you that I was super, super busy and still able to generate that kind of side income. But when the side income got up there to around that Pro 6 range, I'm going to myself, okay, that's $60,000 to $70,000 a year in income. Most of it's leverage, meaning most of it's coming on a monthly basis without me having to go recreate it every month. It's time to pull the trigger and say sayonara to the job. And that was at about the 2-year mark. So within 2 years of starting this business, I was able to say goodbye to a career that had spanned almost 20 years and stay home and be that father, be that dad, be that husband, be able to travel, be able to go surfing in the middle of the day, or be able to be at my son's games or soccer practice, or whatever it is that you want to do. I know there are other people out there that are like me, where any of those dollar amounts that I circled on there, or even this huge dollar amount that people are making on a monthly basis, would make a massive difference in your life and allow you to have choices. That's all any of us want, are that freedom and those choices. I didn't believe it was possible. This is proof. I'm proof, and this is proof right here of multiple people having the same type of results. So at the end of the day, I'm going to close with this, guys. Google back, this is about 5 years ago, they had this article run in Time magazine talking about how Google's trying to find the cure to death, right? They're looking for a way to extend life. In fact, they spent 1.5 billion, big ones, trying to slow the aging process, trying to get life extended, right? Getting people to live longer, healthier lives. So remember that. Google, arguably between them and Apple, are two of the biggest companies in the world trying to extend life. Then 2 years ago, LifeVantage comes out with this study showing from the National Institute on Aging that Protandim, our Nerf2 Synergizer, is the only, look at that sentence that I outlined. Since its inception, so over the last 20 years, Protandim is the only nutritional supplement tested that's been proven to increase the median survival in mice, thus delaying the aging process. Before you ask why they tested in mice, imagine a human clinical trial. It'd have to be like 100 years long, and you'd have to control a human's life from birth till death, and no human would ever sign up. You're not going to sign your baby up for that program. Nobody's going to do it. So all of these studies are done in mice. And again, it's not our choice. This is the National Institute on Aging. This is how they've studied multiple products over the last 20 years. In fact, I underlined some of them there at the end. Some of the other recognized nutritional substances included fish oil, curcumin, green tea, resveratrol. None of those individual ingredients were shown to increase the lifespan of mice. Only Protandim. So I ask you this. Google's spending billions of dollars on it. We already have something that's proven to extend the life of a mammal. What's holding you back from giving it a shot? We're inviting you to come join us here, guys. To finish out my story, you heard how my life changed. I went from falling in love with the product to falling in love with the company to falling in love with this profession that gives you time freedom. It gives you choices. It allows you to go where you want, with who you want, wherever you want, whenever you want. It's real. Come ask some of us. Get to know us. Get back with the person who shared this with you and tell them, show me how I can get to one of those levels on that income sheet. And we'll help get you started and launch your business today. In fact, March has been one of the biggest months we've ever had in the company. Now's the time, guys, before everybody knows about it. We're inviting you to join us. Thanks for jumping on today. And we look forward to partnering with you. See you guys. Bye for now.